My name is Jay's a Dragon, and welcome to my build guide series where I will explain how to build the X-Men as playable characters in 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. This video is timestamped so you can skip to where you need, with a link in the description for the written version. My disclaimers are as follows. Official, third party, UA, homebrew, in that order. Mechanics over description, flavor is always optional. Builds work in every tier of play. And lastly, magic items are not requirements for a build to work.
Kitty Pryde, aka Shadowcat, Shadowcat with a K, Professor K, Sprite, Ariel, and at one point Star-Lord, was the first recruit to the X-Men after the original 5 stepped away, and is one of the medium's greatest successes in regards to teen POV characters. She has the incredibly useful ability of slipping through solid matter with her phasing power. With it, she can slip attacks unharmed, breach almost any structure, and even step through air molecules like they were stairs. If she wanted, she could pull a person along with her through the wall, or could leave them in a solid object and release them. By becoming intangible and reaching into a creature, she can cause instantly catastrophic damage or death. When traveling with Wolverine, an old enemy of his bestowed Kitty with the fighting ability of a master ninja in an attempt to turn her into an assassin. Over the years, Kitty met the small alien dragon Lockheed, who became fast friends with her and accompanies her into combat. Using point buy, I gave Kitty Pryde 8, 14, 14, 12, 10, 14, with a +2 in dexterity and a +1 in wisdom. Lightfoot Halfling is used as race, to be able to slip through occupied spaces and hide in melee. Deception and stealth proficiency come from the Demir operative background from Ravnica. Acrobatics, sleight of hand, perception, and investigation proficiency come from Rogue. Rogue level 1. Expertise. Double your proficiency bonus in your 2 most important skills, that is stealth and sleight of hand. Sneak attack. Add a damage bonus to weapon attacks using a finesse or ranged weapon that has advantage, or is on a target with an enemy adjacent and doesn't have disadvantage. That's an extra 1d6 now and increases every odd rogue level. Rogue level 2. Cunning action. You can now use the dodge, dash, and disengage actions as a bonus action. Rogue level 3. Pick the Arcane Trickster roguish archetype. Spellcasting. Gain 3rd caster progression with the wizard spell list, but are limited to the illusion and enchantment schools of spells except for 1 spell at level 3, 1 spell at level 8, and 1 spell at level 13. Mage Hand Legerdemain. You have an invisible mage hand you can use as a bonus action and can be used to pickpocket enemies of any gear not actively being wielded. Skill contests of your expertise sleight of hand versus their perception for them to even notice. Your sneak attack damage dice increases to 2d6. Cantrips learned. Minor illusion. You phase out of sight. Message. Use your comlink. And Mage Hand. Slip under and take something. Spells learned. Silvery Barbs. Distract your opponent with a snappy remark. Sleep. Surprise and incapacitate your enemies. And Mage Armor. Your protective X-Men uniform. Rogue level 4. ASI. +2 dexterity, now at 18. Spell learned. Silent Image. Produce a wall that you can freely walk through, but enemies can't see through. Rogue level 5. Uncanny Dodge. You can use your reaction to halve the damage of an attack you can see. Sneak attack damage dice increases to 3d6. Rogue level 6. Expertise. Double your proficiency bonus in your next 2 most important skills, that is perception and investigation. Rogue level 7. Evasion. Dex saves that deal half on save now deal half on a fail and no damage on a save. Sneak attack damage dice increases to 4d6. Spells learned. Darkness. Phase with a target to pull them underground with you and remain there where they can't see. Rope Trick. Phase yourself and your team to safety. Rogue level 8. ASI. Get the Sentinel feat to prevent escaping and a reliable source of sneak attacks as reactions. Spells learned. Dragon's Breath. Lockheed spits continuous flames. And Mirror Image. Phase so attacks pass through you. With a solid base kit and 2nd level spells, multiclass over to Warlock to complement. Warlock level 1. Take the Hexblade subclass. You don't need the weapons or armor, but use virtually everything else. Cantrips learned. Booming Blade. Phase the target of your strike, causing damage if they try to move. And Green Flame Blade. Fight in tandem with Lockheed's flames to battle multiple opponents. Spells learned. Shield. Lockheed blocks an attack for you. And Hellish Rebuke. Lockheed returns fire to your attacker. Warlock level 2. Invocations. Choose 2 options from the invocation list. Eldritch Mind to protect your concentrations, and Devil's Sight to see through your darkness spell. Spells learned. Disguise Self for your frequent costume changes. Warlock level 3. Pact Boon. Choose Pact of the Chain to gain Lockheed, your pseudo-dragon ally. Spells learned. Misty Step. Slip under the ground and reappear several strides away. And Pass Without Trace. Phasing is impossible to track by ordinary means. Warlock level 4. ASI. +2 Dexterity, now at 20. Spells learned. Gaseous Form. Become intangible, walk on air and easily bypass barriers. Levitate. Walk on air molecules and even bring an ally. Warlock level 5. Choose an invocation. Gift of the Ever-Living Ones to maximize healing received as a solid health buff. Cantrip learned. Prestidigitation. Lockheed warms a beverage. Spells learned. Blink. Phase and unphase between repeated surprise attacks. And Meld into Stone. Phase into solid rock to safely recuperate. Warlock level 6. Accursed Spectre. Gain a non-concentration summon with phasing and debilitating abilities. Spell learned. Branding Smite. Slash with the Soul Sword, dispelling intangibility and invisibility. You're finished with Warlock levels and proceed with Rogue levels the rest of the way. Rogue level 9. Magical Ambush. Casting from hidden causes save disadvantage. Sneak attack damage dice increases to 5d6. Rogue level 10. Take the Mobile Feat for +10 speed, patching up Halfling's innate 25 movement. No slow and difficult terrain when using dash. And it enables backing up after attacking with Booming Blade, even if the enemy is Sentinel Feat to ignore disengage and even if you miss their AC. Cantrip learned. Control Flames. Lockheed puts out his fire. Spell learned. Invisibility. Travel behind walls or below the ground. Rogue level 11. Reliable Talent. Skill checks with proficiency can't roll under a 10 on the dice. This is before any modifiers, so high ability scores and expertises all apply. Always active and guaranteed, so for instance with a 20 dex and 6 proficiency bonus, your stealth and sleight of hand rolls will always have a minimum 27 and maximum 37, beating almost any perception without risk of failure. Sneak attack damage dice increases to 6d6, and spell learned Blur, phase through attacks directed at you. Rogue level 12. ASI. Resilient Wisdom, gaining Wiz-Save proficiency, and +1 Wisdom now at 12. Rogue level 13. Versatile Trickster. You now have a bonus action to cause attack advantage during a turn on a creature by using your mage hand against them. Sneak attack damage dice increases to 7d6. Spells learned. Shadowblade. Summon the Soul Sword. And Catnap. Secure a rest on the fly, getting back to the fight that much faster. Rogue level 14. Blind Sense. Instantly detect any hidden or invisible creatures within 10 feet of you. Spell learned. Haste. Give yourself fully to your ninja training. Magic Items Wishlist. +1, 2, or 3 finesse weapons. +1, 2, or 3 light armor. Demir Guild Charm. Activate it to cast Blink, Sleep at a 3rd level, or as a reaction when attacked to turn invisible until the start of your next turn and teleport up to 30 feet away, avoiding the triggering attack. Ghost Step Tattoo. 3 charges per day to be able to resist non-magical physical damage, move through objects as if they were difficult terrain, and avoid grapples and restraints. Ring of Earth Elemental Command. Move through solid rock as if it were difficult terrain. Rogue's Mantle. Her Shadowcat Blouse. Gain a 60-foot dark vision and a 30-foot shadow step. Talisman of Pure Good. Pull an enemy into the ground and destroy them. Tactics. In play, Kitty Pryde is the ultimate infiltrator. She has dark vision, max dexterity, expertises, and reliable talent, with several spells to let her be perfectly invisible, float through the air, and fool the senses as needed. She also is uniquely talented in dealing with one potential team-wide headache: invisible enemies. Kitty's excellent perception and investigation may give her indication for where a hiding invisible enemy might be. With Blind Sense, Kitty will see them clearly within 10 feet, and she can use Branding Smite to end invisibility on the target. Attack Phase. It can be a good idea to start combat out of sight, letting your blaster allies deliver AoEs and thin the crowd before you go in. Start with a spell of preference and a bonus action Hexblade's Curse or Cunning Action Hide, using a medium-sized ally as cover if nothing else is in reach. Blink is a great choice for prolonged fights, a non-concentration defensive and maneuvering tool that stacks well with other spells. 10 feet of reposition and Halfling's naturally stealthy makes for a slippery playstyle that could even see her hiding behind her target, and repeated use of Booming Blade could keep her enemies from wanting to move away. Mirror Image is a great second layer of protection, keeping the odd hit from getting through and enabling reaction sneak attacks when hit by melee, due to Sentinel and having Lockheed or an ally near. Darkness is a massively impactful control spell without a save, keeping a target trapped with you and out of options, unable to see or escape due to Sentinel, but also not targetable by anyone else. In Shadowcat's case, I describe this as pulling someone into the floor with you for massive damage. Booming Blade sneak attack on your action, and Sentinel opportunity attack as a reaction if they move, getting the full damage of BB and 2 sneaks each round. Reposition anywhere around them and bonus action hide and they'll be unable to deal with you. Teleports like Misty Step won't work due to blinded. A target's only hope is that your reaction misses their AC to let them walk away, but you can easily follow right after, and even using dodge won't help since they have to see you to get its benefit. Ghost. Once per day, raise a Spectre to fight alongside you as a non-concentration summon. While you are repeatedly disappearing from sight, the Spectre is a stand-in for you using another phasing assault, passing through solid barriers with incorporeal movement, and causing hit point maximum reductions with life drain. Lockheed adding help to its attack can be an impactful choice if you already have advantage on yourself anyway. The Spectre sports a long list of resistances and immunities, so adds a fair bit of bulk to your kit. This concludes my guide on how to play Kitty Pryde. It's just a fun extra. If you're to build a mini of Kitty Pryde, this is how she might look. I do hope you've enjoyed this. If you have any thoughts on what you do to improve it, questions, or if you've played this, feedback on how it went, or anything else, please leave a comment. Definitely subscribe and ring the bell icon for notifications as I have many more builds on the way. Feel free to join my Discord for X-Men one-shots. And as always, thank you for watching.